Good afternoon and welcome, dear friends, distinguished guests, the Mayor and Council, ably represented by Councillor Funke, program sponsors and partners, Youth Social Board of Directors, the Leadership Portfolio Advisory and alumni, as well as incredible members of the 2023-2024 Cohort of Leadership Portfolio. Thank you all for joining us today. A few housekeeping just before we begin. We have 2 washrooms in this building, and they are located just outside these doors. So if you exit through any of the 3 doors, or including this one, you're going to see the 2 washrooms just outside, labeled men and ladies, or brothers, sisters, whichever one feels best. If we need to exit in case of an emergency, we're all going to exit through the rear exit, and the muster point is in the parking lot, where we're going to wait for the instructions. Also, if you look around the room, we have a small setup over there with some coffee and snacks, so feel free at any point in time to just walk up there and grab something for yourself. My name is Ebenezer Oluo, and I'm the Leadership Coordinator for the Leadership Portfolio Program, run by Fuse Social, a social profit organization in Fort McMurray, which is committed to strengthening the capacity of social profits through education, leadership development, research, innovation, and collaboration. I am joined by you all today at the Unifor Local 707A, which happens to be on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Cree, Dene, and Métis people. For thousands of years, they have been protecting, stewarding, living, and working on this land. And if you walk a little bit down the road, you will hit Fuse Social Office on 20 Rydell Street, which is also on the traditional land of Treaty 8 territory. As a black man of African descent who now resides on this land, I recognize and honor the enduring struggles of indigenous rights holders. Throughout history, they have faced oppression and continue to endure inequities due to the failure of non-indigenous treaty people to uphold their responsibilities. I am deeply conscious of how my actions and inactions could perpetuate or alleviate these injustices. With humility and respect, I commit myself to actively supporting indigenous communities to the best of my knowledge and ability, advocating for their rights and working towards reconciliation and equity. I challenge you all present here today to commit to fostering understanding, solidarity, and collective action in dismantling systems of oppressions and building a future rooted in justice and harmony. I humbly pay my respect to elders past, present, and emerging. Thank you for your continuous guidance and wisdom, which continue to shape and drive our community towards a sustainable future. Leadership with Buffalo is a long-standing community leadership program that brings leaders together with similar aspirations and commitments to community building for about 7 to 8 months every year. During these times, they are exposed to training, team building, and networking opportunities. One of the most profound part of their learning journey is the community action projects, in which the team breaks into smaller groups and choose a socially innovative project to work on for a collective impact while developing their leadership for community development. We are all gathered here today to celebrate some of the projects that the 2023-2024 cohort of the Leadership World Buffalo have been working on. What started as a chaotic and rough process has brought us all together today to witness some of the beautiful presentations of some of the projects they've been working on. To the cohort members, thank you for your sacrifices and for trusting the process even when you didn't know where this would land. You were all strangers from the beginning, but you found some way to work together, listen to each other, compromise, and collaborate for collective impact. Now that we're near the end of the program, I want you all to remember that our journey to community leadership is far from over. Leadership is a continuous journey of growth, connection, and impact that never ends. The Leadership Portfolio Program is a tool, and I encourage you all to carry that tool with you as you continue to foster the relationships which you have built and steward the lessons you have learned to create a lasting, meaningful change. Now, I would like you all to join me to welcome Councillor Funke to say a few words before the cohort starts their presentation. Thank you so much, Councillor Funke, for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you. Thank you all very much for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. I have heard so many versions of land acknowledgement, but I must commend the acknowledgement that we just heard, a call for commitment, and I accept that challenge. And we should all accept the challenge to do better, to acknowledge, to respect and honor the indigenous peoples who were here before us. So thank you for that. And I so openly commit myself to follow in the challenge that you have issued this afternoon. I don't think I have anything else to add other than I stand on Treaty 8 territory, and I respect the First Peoples, and we should commit to the honor that is due, and I'm committed to that honor. Thank you. You can clap it. Thank you. So again, I'm Funke Banjoko. I'm one of the councillors in the region, and it is my honor to stand here to represent Mayor Sandy Bowman, the council, and the entire municipality to welcome you all to this celebration event. It's great to be here with you all to celebrate the Leadership with Buffalo program graduation for this year. I don't know if the MP or MLA is here. If they are not, I honor every leader in the house, which is all the leaders, including the new graduates, and religious leaders, indigenous leaders, political leaders, business leaders. I honor you all. First, to the board of directors and the entire Pew Social team, especially everyone that was involved in the Leadership with Buffalo program. Thank you. What is so wonderful about this program is how intentional it is to grow people, to help raise new leaders. We often talk about leadership and building leaders, but then it's easier said than done. What you are doing here today is putting the words, turning the words into action. And through your action, you are lifting up the leaders of today and the leaders of tomorrow. Through this, you are making our community a better place to live. It's pretty easy to feel the energy in this room today, looking at all of you beautiful people. As a council, we are pleased to support the Pew Social and the Leadership with Buffalo program because this means a lot to our region. You are highly appreciated. Thank you. As the program nears 2 decades of action in growing, fostering, and encouraging leadership, we wish you nothing but the best. Finally, to this year's participants, well, I think it's better and more beautiful to call you graduates. Well deserved. Graduation comes with a lot of work before the day of the graduation. Well done. I applaud you for taking this positive, powerful step. When good people get stronger and good leaders become greater leaders, it leads to a bright future for our home, the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo, and to the world at large. There is no doubt that your efforts are making a solid impact in our life. I'll leave you today with a quote from Margaret Mead, a renowned educator and academic in the 20th century. Never underestimate the power a small group of dedicated individuals can have in changing the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has changed the world. Thank you again for having me, and please join me to congratulate the graduates of the Leadership with Buffalo class of 2024. A round of applause for all.
what a powerful speech, great words of encouragement, and wonderful quotes. So without any further ado, we're going to be going into the presentations. There's a little bit of change to the agenda, which is just a little different to what you have with you in terms of the break, but everything stays the same. So the first group, Captastic, will be coming up to present, and each group gets to present for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, the audience gets about 10 to 15 minutes to ask questions, to make comments, to give feedback. I'm also aware that some of the organizations that have supported these wonderful groups are here, so if you have anything to say, that would be a great time, to step up and give a few words.
Okay, hi, good afternoon, everyone. We are Team Captastic, and we're here to talk to you about our community action project with Lyman Major Blight Club. So as you will very shortly see, our group loves a pun. So I'm going to start by giving you a quick briefing of today's flight manifest, aka the outline of our presentation. So we're going to start by walking you through our booking and reservation process. We'll take you through security and boarding. We will begin to taxi and take off. We'll also talk about the growth and change we've experienced and a little bit of turbulence that we may or may not have had along the way before we reach our cruising altitude. So before we start, we're going to introduce the crew that you'll be flying with today. Okay, so hello again. My name is Angela. I am Marketing and Advertising Coordinator with the Regional Recreation Corporation of Wood Buffalo. I grew up in a small town called Bonnecourt that you've probably driven by on your way to Edmonton. I made Fort McMurray my home in 2018. My absolute favorite thing in the world is my cat. His name is Chase. He's very fluffy and cute. And I really can't handle a common cold. I think there's nothing worse than having a runny nose, except like maybe having a stuffy nose.
Oh, you have a separate line cover.
Hey everyone, my name is Caitlin Bender. I'm a generalist in children's services at the Basque Tribal Council. My hometown is Yorkton, Saskatchewan, and I made Fort McMurray my home in 2021. I am in a love-hate relationship with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I am in the delusion phase right now, but after last night's game, my hope is diminishing, and at least the golf courses are now open.
Hi everybody, my name is Chelsea. I'm the Reservations and Group Membership Supervisor with the Regional Recreation Corporation of Wood Buffalo. Originally from Hamilton, Ontario, I did move to Fort McMurray 12 years ago, and I am proud to call this city my home. Something that everyone knows I do love is coffee. It's not often I am without one, and something I very much dislike is having to repeat myself.
Can you say that again? So I'm Julie Carter. I'm a stakeholder engagement coordinator with the Wood Buffalo Environmental Association, not to be confused with the RMWB. We are separate entities. WBA does the air quality monitoring in the region. So feel free to check out our website if you're interested in the air quality data or air quality health index. Just had to give that a plug. I've been very fortunate to live all over Canada, but would consider St. Albert my home. But I've lived in Fort McMurray now for about 6 years, and I've loved every minute of it. I also love dancing. Anything to do with music gets me moving, fills my spirit, and I hate when people feel bad. So I'm glad that there's been some laughs and some chuckles today, so hopefully that keeps going.
My name is Corinne Brikowski. I'm a community advocate for disabilities. My hometown is Fort McMurray, Alberta, and I love Call of Duty, and I hate people that put their pants on. For booking and reservations. The first thing we needed to do was to get together to work on our team charter. We learned about each other and our values and determined how we are going to work together for the next 7 months. We generated lots of ideas related to raising awareness within the community. So many ideas. We chose a project with Hawaiian Men and Angel Flight Club. They requested assistance with raising awareness and also some behind-the-scenes support so they could get the message out about them as an operation. And we also wanted to share with you our team norms, our core values with you today. Our core values, teamwork, accountability, respect, community, humor, and creativity. So with a better understanding of our team norms and our topics selected, we had to determine what we wanted to deliver. For those of you who may not know about YMM Angel Flight Club, I wanted to give you just a little bit of background information to get you started. So if you take a minute and you think about all your friends, your family, your colleagues here in Fort McMurray, do you know anyone who has had to travel for a medical appointment? I'm seeing nods, I'm seeing hands raised, so you guys know what I'm talking about here. Traveling for appointments is extremely common in our community, especially when people need specialized care. And traveling for appointments leads to a lot of unplanned expenses. We're talking about gas, we're talking about flights if you're able to fly, rental cars, hotels, food, even just time away from your friends and your family and your everyday life, which is where YMM Angel Flight Club comes in to try to fill that gap. To get us started on our project, we were able to join a virtual meeting with the board of directors of YMM Angel Flight Club. I'm going to say this because it is actually important. YMM Angel Flight Club is an organization made up of volunteer pilots flying volunteer aircraft who are dedicated to providing RMWB residents with efficient, no-cost air transportation to non-emergency medical appointments. That's actually what they're about, so I should have said. So to get started, we were able to join a virtual meeting with the board of directors of the YMM Angel Flight Club and to learn more about their organization and about their current goals. And from that meeting, we landed on 3 distinct deliverables that we wanted to work on over the course of our project. And that was updating their business plan, assisting the board of directors in the creation of a strategic plan, as well as helping to complete an application for charitable status with the Government of Canada. So the first deliverable that we got started on was updating the business plan. So YMM Angel Flight Club was founded in 2019, and that was when they created their original business plan to guide their operations. That plan was created with a goal of purchasing an aircraft that could be operated by volunteer pilots to provide Angel flights to community members. Over the years, that goal has shifted. McMurray Aviation has a fleet of aircraft that can be used for Angel flights. So the organization is looking at creating a formal partnership with McMurray Aviation to provide flights through a chartering service instead of the purchasing a plane, just as a more cost-effective option. So in addition to updating the document to reflect that new goal, we also created an enhanced market analysis as well as thorough descriptions of their cost structure and revenue streams, as well as some other things. We collaborated as a team to redevelop this document, adding in new content while improving clarity within the existing content. We worked very closely with Brian Abel, YMM Angel Flight's president, to ensure the plan was thorough and accurate, suiting their needs.
In creating the strategic plan for YMM Angel Flight Club, we surveyed the board of directors and president for their engagement and input for what they would like to see reflected in the strategic plan. Completing a strategic plan for YMM Angel Flight Club was a crucial step in the process to allow for clear direction and focus for the organization moving forward, especially as we worked on completing the business plan. The strategic plan serves as a roadmap for the organization, guides its actions and decisions in a way to maximize the organization's success and long-term sustainability. We were able to help YMM Angel Flight Club identify potential risks and challenges, as well as current and future goals for their organization. This process allowed our CAPtastic team to take a deeper dive into the core values of the organization and really format a good roadmap for YMM Angel Flight Club. Their core values included safety, integrity, accessibility, dedication, compassion, and excellence, and community. When we initially presented the survey to Ryan, I had listed them, asking him to identify which of the values held the most importance. When Ryan responded, he had not ranked them in a specific order, but noted that they are all equal in value to us. This stood out to us and really challenged our thought process on just how much these values are all equally important. These values were non-negotiables for YMM Angel Flight Club. It allowed us to have this reflection These values are not just how YMM Angel Flight Club treats one another or our community members, but how each of us have treated each member of our cohort through this journey of growth, development, and improvement.
Over the course of the past 7 months together, we've learned a few things along the way. So we learned to leverage resources to increase efficiencies or find efficiencies, including leveraging our team's skills and perspectives, finding access to meeting spaces, using virtual platforms, and networking to better understand information and processes related to our project goals. We learned about each other, how we work, communicate, and get things done. And we also learned about ourselves. We grew in our strengths and learned how to become better leaders. And not only did we learn about each other, but we learned from each other, because each of us brought really unique strengths and skills to our team and the project. And then I have to say our fun game got stronger thanks to Chelsea. And while we anticipated a smooth flight, we did experience some turbulence along the way. So some of our biggest learnings were related to the charitable status application process. So while we provided a lot of useful information and clear instructions, our team's collective lack of understanding of this application process kind of had us flying in circles, so to speak. And it wasn't until near the end of the project deadline that we really understood the true roadblock for the YMM Angel Flight Club. So we were able to provide meaningful support to update and develop the useful documents. However, in our existing support roles, we couldn't fulfill the desired need to submit the application because there was a signatory from the board required to work with CRA and all of that bureaucratic stuff. And unfortunately, we just didn't hold those positions in the time to submit the application. Another thing is life happens. Everyone involved in our project experienced significant life situations that impacted our availability and timelines. And throughout our project, we did honor our team norms and provided support and understanding to each other along the way to complete our project. We also experienced a prolonged storming phase. So if you're not familiar with team development phases, you've got your forming, so you're coming together. You have your storming, figuring out how you're going to work together. You hopefully get to a norming process at some point, so that's your smooth flight, let's say. And then your goal is hopefully to get to performing, so you're like shining essentially. It did seem to take us a while to find our groove in the project, but we did eventually reach our cruising altitude, which Chelsea will fill you in on.
So as we reached the last couple of months of our CAP project, we began the finalization of our deliverables for YMM Angel Flight Club. Working closely with Brian, president of YMM Angel Flight Club, the business plan was informally presented to the club for their feedback, amendments, and inputs. This allowed us to incorporate the specific details that only the board of directors could provide us and allow us to finalize a document that best embodied the club's purpose, values, and direction. The final business plan was presented to YMM Angel Flight Club this week. As the YMM Angel Flight Club strategic plan was a newly created document, the preparation of this document did require additional work from both our CAP group as well as from YMM Angel Flight Club's board of directors. This document went through final review and was actually also delivered this week. Though this presentation does end up representing the end of our partnership with YMM Angel Flight Club through the Leadership with Buffalo program, our group does maintain their ongoing commitment to the club, remaining on as a supporting asset as they continue to work their charitable status, as well as embarking on the future goals to grow the essential service in the Wood Buffalo region. Now, with any good flight, in-flight entertainment is very important. And if I could say, if only there was a blooper reel that we could share with you today on some of the best moments that we've had over the course of the Leadership with Buffalo program. Though no one ended up stuck in a virtual meeting with a CAP filter on, we definitely spent our time in the Leadership with Buffalo program working in a group of a CAP project group of amazing individuals. From our Taylor Swift education and Call of Duty discussions, to even dealing with our excessive pen clicking and trying to join Julie's vacation in Vegas by scheduling a CAP meeting. We did end up finding humor and friendships within all of our meetings together. Our team experienced so many highs and lows, both personal and professional, over these months, but we found strength in our group members that helped us all grow as individuals and professionals.
I was I was like, as you were presenting, and not to be like rude or anything, but I was like, the Fight Club. I'm like, what happens with the Fight Club? But no, I just thought that like what you guys shared tonight was today was really good. I didn't know all of the details with the Fight Club, so thank you for sharing. Thanks.
I can speak louder.
Okay.
YM Angel Flight Club. I just want to say thank you for taking on this work for us, because it wasn't work that we got stuck on as full-time jobs somewhere else as directors. So just thank you for taking on our project and putting vision to something that we have in this community. So thank you.
I'll try to project.
Oh yeah,
Thank you. Hi, my name is Shannon Rex, Executive Director for Pew Social. You mentioned in your presentation a prolonged storming period, and so I just wanted to ask what your key learnings were from that process, and what recommendations you would make to other Leadership with Buffalo participants or organizations who are working on collaboration but are experiencing their own prolonged storming phase.
I'm holding the microphone and I also said the phases, so that's a good question. I think we wrote about it in our final report, and we kind of surveyed each other to fill out this presentation. I think the importance of communicating, holding space for one another, trying to seek to understand. Yeah, I guess, is there anything else?
I would add, I think like we all had this like idea, like so something as simple as getting together and like meeting. We had this idea where we wanted to be able to meet in person, and we're like, okay, well we have boardrooms at the island, okay, we can go get hot pot, we can go do this, and then someone has an appointment and someone has something else, and like we just couldn't figure out a way. And then like as our time went on, we were like, can we just jump on a Teams call for 10 minutes, and we just like started to be a little bit more honest with each other about like, is this maybe just not going to work to be able to all get our schedules to line up and get together. So we're like, over the last like 2 months of this, like sneaking in an hour here and there whenever we had time, and that was what worked for us. But it took us a while to like figure out that that was what we wanted to do. I think just maybe being flexible and being honest about commitments might be at least what worked for us. Yeah.
Oh. And I think it's okay to have a prolonged storming phase. Like, you just go through emotions, but it's the end result that really matters.
I was also going to add, because Corinne said something that jogged my memory, is that we would always come back to what were we trying to accomplish, and then what were our team norms, what had we committed to each other. So, good question.
Thank you, and thanks for the presentation. I don't know if this is supposed to be just a case study for fun, but for me, you made a point, and Corey, you've always been an advocate for transportation, so we've had numerous discussions, and some were strong, but thank you. And so I'm going back again with some of, to me, this is another message for us as leaders in the region. And like I always say on Facebook, I hear you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much.
I also just wanted to commend the group for finding organizations that don't have the regular kind of airtime, if I could call it that. There's a lot of organizations out there that don't have a big name attached to them. So the fact that you sought out a smaller organization that might be struggling with capacity, I think it really speaks volumes and is a huge strength of this program. So thanks for that.
Still have some time, anyone else? Go right into the next group's presentation, and I humbly invite spiritual leaders of Buffalo to come behind.
All right, this stage here. All right, so thank you all very much for everyone who's got very busy days. I really appreciate you all coming here today. We are going to try to cram 7 months worth of work into 20 minutes. So, thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm thrilled to be here to have the opportunity to introduce the future leaders of Wood Buffalo leadership team today. Our cohort consists of individuals with diverse backgrounds, expertise, and a shared passion for youth leadership in the community. Each member of our team brought together a unique set of skills and experiences to our project, which deeply contributed to the success of our community action project. I'm going to start off by introducing Angela Davis this afternoon. Ange is a genuinely kind-hearted soul who, if you've had the pleasure of meeting, you just know that instantly you feel like you have a friend for life. And I'm very proud to call Ange my friend.
I'll pay you later.
Angela moved to Fort McMurray in 2002 from the East Coast with the same short-term plan as many who come to the region. So many years later, she is still here, and I'm very thankful for that. She discovered a passion for process operations in the oil sands industry, which was entirely different from her original background. During her 18-year career, she has had the privilege of being part of the United Way campaign and Seeing is Believing tours. Until she joined the Leadership with Buffalo program, her involvement in the community outside of the annual United Way campaigns was limited to word of mouth by asking friends and family who worked in the community sector. Through Leadership with Buffalo, she has learned more about how our community partner organizations work and how she can better match her skill set with the needs of an agency to better give back to this amazing community. So welcome, Anne. Wait, I'm not done. We have 3 fun facts to share about Ange today. So the first fun fact is that she can currently deadlift over 110 pounds, which is very impressive. She is a huge lover of music, and this is her quote. She claims that her self-assessed lack of talent has kept her as a spectator only, but she says not for lack of trying. And to me, I thought that kind of sounds like maybe we should go for karaoke one night. And then finally, she loves telling a good grown dad-worthy joke. Good grown-worthy dad joke, and I'm going to put her on the spot right now. Sure.
Why was the bicycle leaning against the wall?
Why?
Because it was too tired.
That was really bad.
But we loved it.
Oh, there's lots of that kind of
All right, this is Lynette Hiscoff right here. She's amazing. She has made Fort McMurray her home for the past 28 years. I was going to say days. 28 years. So she has built her life here, raised her twin boys, and she serves as the operation manager for corporate networks. Joining the Leadership with Buffalo program has been a true, huge privilege for Lynn. It's not just about her leadership skills. It has connected Lynn with her community that she calls home, and who most of us call home. Lynn is deeply grateful for this opportunity because she feels as though she has been able to connect with Fort McMurray on a deeper level, and prior to Leadership with Buffalo, her exposure was limited within the region. So due to this program, it has provided an opportunity for her to open her eyes to the community. And the learnings and connections made through Leadership with Buffalo and with the Justin Slade Youth Foundation have been unbelievable. And fun facts with Lynn is she has a 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo. Don't mess with her. She is part of a global leadership IT group, and she is also currently serving as the treasurer for the 2803 Army Cadet Corps Support Committee.
So kind. As you can tell, we're probably a very, I wouldn't say shy, maybe. We are introducing each other for a reason. So I would like to introduce Lori Lee Murphy. Lori is one of the rare birds. She was born, raised in Fort McMurray, and she belongs to the Fort McKay First Nation, and she currently works as the education coordinator for the Athabasca Tribal Council. Lori has taught me so much during this journey. She is a true advocate for the Indigenous communities. She's truly an advocate for the youth in our community, specifically Indigenous. She has been an inspiration for me because she has encouraged me to learn more, and she's just been phenomenal. So thank you, Lori. I truly, truly appreciate you. So I want to share some fun facts about Miss Lori. So Lori she's boxed for 3 years, and we promise we will not duke it out here on the stage today. Not right now, anyway. She's currently, not only is she beautiful and amazing, but she's currently also completing her master's degree in education. And she is the mom of 2 littles, a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old.
Okay, folks, I have the privilege of introducing, last but very not least, Melanie Asher. Mel has arrived here in Fort McMurray in 2006. Currently lives in Sapri Creek with her family. They love all things outdoors and adventures, and raising 2 teenagers keeps them very, very busy and very active. She currently works at Fuse Social as I have to read this one because I keep getting tongue-tied. The advisor for organization and sector development. I didn't mess it up. There we go. So Leadership Wood Buffalo has empowered Mel to focus on her leadership skills in order to necessarily drive positive change within her organization and her community. Now, Mel has had a very positive effect on me personally. I walked in leadership at Buffalo and very minimal exposure to a lot of the social sector works. And I was hearing things like EDs and boards and bylaws, really? Bylaws? Council meetings, all these things. So I was hearing a language that I didn't understand but really wanted to. And through Mel's guidance, I've had the opportunity to take quite a few courses offered through Fuse, to get better educated on how I can support and how others can support grant writing and things like that. So thank you so much, Mel, for your facilitation and tutelage. And your fun facts are getting all weepy here. I almost forgot about your fun facts. All right, so to continue on with the strong group we have up here on the stage, Mel is a certified yoga and fitness instructor. She is ambidextrous. We tested this. There's been proof. As well as she sits as the vice chair on the Wood Buffalo Food Bank Board of Directors.
All right, we want to take a little bit through our process, kind of how we came together as a group and how we ended up discovering our project and what was passionate for us. So take you way back, although it feels like yesterday, to September when we came together. We were one of few, or maybe the only cohort. We were not given projects. We were kind of just thrown in with, quite honestly, we were all strangers. We were thrown into this group kind of and said, okay, you're all together, you're going to learn, and now you have to come up with a project that you're actually going to develop together over these next 7 months. Like, wow, what are we going to do? What drove us together, it was our passion for youth and what they bring to the future. We are all parents. Some of us are educators. We have all worked with youth in some way, shape, or form. And if they're not the ones that we can impact, who are? It was truly a passion for us. So when we came together, it was tough in the beginning. We didn't know each other. But we took our time, we got to know each other. We ended up coming up with a criteria on how we were going to vet organizations. How are we going to find out who we wanted to work with in the community? We knew we wanted to work with youth between the ages of 12 to 18. But there are times when sometimes that age group sometimes felt like it got left out. We vetted a bunch of organizations, and we came across the Justin Slade Youth Foundation. And oh boy, did we hit one. Justin Slade Youth Foundation touched us so deeply. Lori met with Mandy, and she came back and she started telling us these grand stories about Justin Slade Youth Foundation. And we all said, wow, like, this is amazing. We feel like we were given a true gift. Like, how can we help support this organization? So I'm going to hand it over to Lori, and she's going to tell you all about it.
All right, so if you don't know where the Justin Slade Youth Foundation is, they're kind of just where Borealis is, and I had no idea, and I hadn't been in, like, when I remember going there when I was young, it was like a pop-up stand for food and stuff, but it's a really great place to be. So at the Justin Slade Youth Foundation, you know, they are a registered nonprofit agency that was formed after the tragic death of Justin Slade in 2004. This passing of this young man left a lasting legacy on those who knew him. Justin's zest for life inspired his parents to develop a youth project that simply wasn't just about Justin, but because of him. The vision of the Justin Slade Youth Foundation is to empower youth to make positive life choices. The Justin Slade Youth Foundation will achieve this vision by strengthening, inspiring, and guiding youth aged 12 to 17 to make positive life choices. Justin Slade Youth Foundation offers free events and programs for all Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo youth aged 12 to 17. The goal is to foster social interaction and empower youth to make positive life choices through recreational programs. And some of these are the two mentioned here. So the dugout is at the location, and they do drop-in center daily with activities every day. And if you ever have a chance to go there, if you're interested, if you have youth, like anyone in your life who is a youth, I really encourage you to go there, and you will see the love that is like reverberating in that space. It's just it's a joy. It's a real joy to be there. And they also have another program which is JSYF Presents. So this is kind of like outside of the dugout, and they do programs for like sports, cooking, crafts, and field trips.
All right, so the project we took on to help support the Justin Slade Youth Foundation. And when we say that we were given a gift, we were literally given a gift. So the Justin Slade Youth Foundation and Mandy and her team has struggled for quite some time to try to get the Youth Advisory Council stood up. From wildfire evacuations to floods to pandemics, probably even pestilence at some point in there. So given the original project, we took a look at it and said, okay, this is exactly what we can do. This is what they've asked for. Through collaborations, what is it that they want this to look like versus us going off in our own little bubble, developing something for a group of youth. Because I don't know about you folks, but I'm not 12 to 17. Not much older than that, but I'm not quite there yet. So how can we as a group help the youth themselves? So thank you to Mandy and her team. They gave us a great skeleton to work from. So what the Justin Slade Youth Foundation Youth Advisory Council is, we call it YAC for short. Okay? So what this is, it's an advisory council based and geared toward the youth that utilize Justin Slade Youth Foundation programming. So this is specific to Justin Slade Youth Foundation. And what the objectives are to serve as a platform for you to express their ideas about programming and events, initiatives, gain experience in project planning, and support local organizations through volunteering. So the requirements are that each youth is expected to commit 30 hours of volunteer work throughout the year. The group's goal is to have between 9 and 11 youth that utilize the Justin Slade Youth Foundation programming services. And it will provide an opportunity to impact and influence the future programming of the Justin Slade Youth Foundation, learn and grow by developing teamwork, leadership, problem solving, and project management skills, build friendships. In return, the volunteers for the Justin Slade YAC will be recognition. So the youth committees, they look great on resumes. Rewards, the volunteer hours can be cashed in for rewards of the Wood Buffalo volunteers. And again, the only ask is commitment of 1 meeting a month. The opportunities that this YAC will give to people who do not have much of a voice within the Justin Slade Youth Foundation to build their confidence is going to be invaluable. And that's why we chose the YAC.
So I'm going to walk everybody through our brief timeline here. So we started off by a collaboration with Justin Slade Youth Foundation. And when we initially met with them, we talked about some other ideas that we could potentially collaborate on. So we talked about marketing, fundraising was a potential opportunity as well. But as we said, once we heard about the Youth Advisory Council, we instantly knew, without a doubt, that that was the project that we wanted to work on. So from there, we took the information that was previously worked on, and we gave it a bit of a revamp. So we refreshed that information, updated it. Then we took the next step of creating and printing the brochures, so we made sure that those were delivered and were able to be distributed to the youth at the foundation. Then our favorite part, this is where we left off, and we still have more work to do, but we did a presentation to the youth. And we dressed up as old ladies. Older ladies. We were emphasizing the fact that we were, we might be a little bit out of touch to what the youth these days are looking for. So it was a really great time. There was so much laughing and everything, and we're not sure. I keep saying, I don't know if they were laughing at us or if it was that funny. So I think there's a recording of it out there somewhere. But it was really fun, and there was a lot of engagement, a lot of questions, and applications are starting to come in. Our next step, and because we're not done and we're not planning to just end as soon as this program is done, our leadership with Buffalo, but we are going to be continuing to work with the Justice Lady Youth Foundation to see this through. So next step in the process would be committee selection, and then of course we want to be there for at least the first Youth Advisory Council meeting. And then at some point in time this will be handed over.
All right, a little bit of the process. So with any project or anything that we do in life, there are ups and downs. Some of the successes that we had were the meetings. We were very consistent on time and able to connect with each other. And it kind of just worked out that way with our schedules. And I know Captastic mentioned earlier, it's really different with each team. And so for us, we all work in an office. We all use our lunch time. We all kind of sacrifice that way. So it was really nice to be able to have success in our meetings, because that's not always easily achievable. Another thing we did, Anne, she printed 500 brochures. She had an amazing design on the brochure, and it's lovely. The kids really took to it. It's informative. It was really, really successful in terms of advertising and marketing within the Justice Lady Foundation. Synergy, the collaboration between us, we were really, really lucky to have such a good team with good people, good hearts. So we're really just blessed in that way. And the youth had positive feedback from when we came in looking like old ladies. One of them actually thought one of us were. They were so shocked when she took off her wig. They were like, "You're actually not an elder." They were shook. It was so funny, but it was engaging. And in order to engage with youth, you really have to make things fun and entertaining. So it was really good feedback, and they were really excited to learn more about the YAC program and how can they be involved. And they were happy to know that we were not serving liver once a week.
One kid.
One kid, he did want to have liver. He was like, "What about that liver you talked about?" No, it was a joke. But and the relationship building. This is obviously part of any project and everywhere we work. It's always about relationality. So within ourselves, within each other, with our cohort, Justice Lady Youth Foundation, Maddie, you guys have been truly wonderful to work with. And another thing is we've had people or organizations outside of the Justice Lady Youth Foundation, Athabasca Tribal Council is very interested to see how we can possibly extend this sort of council for the Indigenous youth in the region. So when it comes to the impact, we're hoping that it kind of reverberates a little bit further. But within the Justice Lady Youth Foundation, we're so grateful to work with you. So thank you.
On the opposite side of successes, there are challenges, but to be quite honest, we feel truly blessed. We did not have a lot of challenges. Like every team here, time, 7 months is not long. You blink and it's over. So really trying to stay on top of things and keep things moving was a little bit of a struggle at times. Schedules, again, we are all working moms. Whether you're at your 8 to 5 job or you're at your 5 to 8 job, you're at a job. So we did, as Lori mentioned, we took our lunch breaks if we needed to jump on a call and hammer stuff out, which worked out for us, but it was still a challenge. And as you can see, there are 4 of us on this stage today. In September, we started out as a group of 5. So midway through, we did lose a member of our team. She had to leave, unfortunately, which left us just scrambling to figure out how we're going to cover. Not a huge challenge. Again, you deal with it. It's part of everyday life. And last but not least, technology. Oh man.
From the IT
Yeah, from the IT person. But we had our data. At one point it was Google, and at one point we're on Teams, and at another point we're in SharePoint. Oh. Finally, we said, okay, this is it. We're just getting it done. It doesn't matter where it is at this point. We're just going to get it done, and we did. So, and before we move off this, I just wanted to just share. We volunteered for the Justin Slade Winter Solstice Dance, and I can honestly say this was probably the point when we were beyond the first, kind of introduction, but it was the first point where we were truly in awe of the Justin Slade Youth Foundation. So a bunch of us went to this dance, and I remember we were there, and first of all, every teenager, which blows me away, they were so beyond polite. There were over 200 kids at this dance. And Mandy and Erica and Pam, all from Justin Slade Youth, they treated every one of these kids as if they were their own. It was amazing to just see that. So thank you for that opportunity. It was great. We hope we can do more.
All right, let's just appreciate this picture for a moment here, please. There we go. So, that was so much fun. So, what did we learn? The conclusion. Well, we've learned that Mandy is not free from us yet, and it won't be free, and none of you will be free from us anytime soon. Never. So, we learned that this was the first time a group from Leadership with Buffalo had contacted the Justin Slade Youth Foundation as a cohort. We learned that the Justin Slade Youth Foundation's programs are available no matter anyone's financial situation, free, regardless, whether your parents are driving a BMW or you're walking. It doesn't matter. We learned that through a quick Google of the census from 2021, because that's the earliest. FYI, folks, you need to fill out your census data, because when you're trying to get some information for these things, it's near impossible. 2021 was the last one we had. So, in 2021, there were over 10,000 youth in the RMWB aged 10 to 19. Right now, we've got 5,000 more between 5 and 10 who are coming up to that age group. And the Justin Slade Youth Foundation is one of the only local organizations that provide free programming for youth in our community. The need is great, folks. As we continued our time at the dugout and interacted with Mandy and her team, it became very clear that they are so committed and enthusiastic about the youth and the programs provided by the foundation. We noticed this dedication in all of our interactions between staff and youth as they took the time to connect with every single person who entered that facility. The team has fostered a culture of trust, accountability, safety, and mutual respect among themselves and with the youth they serve. This is a place where I want my children to go. And we also learned that we have 4 people standing on this stage from all different backgrounds. In our organizations, we talk about collaboration. But one amazing thing that we learned here is that when you collaborate outside of your own sector, the amazing things and the amazing relationships that you can bring to the table and learn from each other, even though your businesses are entirely different, it's amazing what we can do and accomplish.
All right, at this point, I would like to thank all members of the future leaders of Wood Buffalo team. Your dedication, hard work, and unwavering commitment to excellence are admirable. Your passion and creativity propelled us forward, and together we have achieved remarkable success. I'm excited about the journey ahead as we continue to grow and succeed as a team. We should be all very proud of our accomplishments. We also thank our employers that supported us as we navigated Leadership with Buffalo through the many learning days and the Community Action Project itself. We could not have achieved our goals without the support and encouragement from Suncor, corporate networks, Athabasca Tribal Council, and of course Fuse Social. On that note, I wanted to say thank you to Fuse Social for continuing to offer this amazing leadership program to aspiring leaders in the community. It truly is an incredible opportunity to strengthen your existing leadership skills while being supported through growth as we discover and develop our own unique leadership styles. Thank you to Ebenezer for your exceptional guidance, dedication, and expertise throughout this program. Your guidance cultivated a collaborative and inclusive atmosphere where our ideas could thrive, and we deeply appreciate your commitment to our team's success. And finally, we would like to thank Justin Slade Youth Foundation for their support. We were impressed and inspired by the dedication of the entire team. From day one, we felt like we were a part of the family. It was an absolute pleasure getting to know every single one of you, and we look forward to continuing our offered support in the future. And at this time, I would like to invite Mandy McDonald, the Executive Director of Justin Slade Youth Foundation, to come onto the stage to say a few words.
Mandy is really amazing. The first time I met her, she's just so kind. She really is a genuine, kind heart. And I've been working with youth in the region for about 10 years in this age range, and I have maybe a couple people who I could say who do their work from their heart. And Mandy she really is one of them.
Okay, so I'm not great at public speaking. I talk to teenagers on a daily basis, so it's a little bit different in this crowd for me. So I wrote something small. I won't take too much time. I want to say a huge thank you and express how much appreciation that I have for you ladies. I am kind of crying right now, so I apologize because that was really heartwarming. Your creativity and awesomeness is greatly appreciated by all of the JSYF staff. Working with you has been delightful because of your energy and the passion that you made every meeting make it feel like it was less work and more like we were hanging out as friends. Thank you so much to Melanie, Laura Lee, Lynn, and Jima Ange for the laughter shared and for your commitment to making our program successful. We'll be sure to continue on this project while empowering and giving the youth of our community a voice in the future. Thank you.
And at this point, we will open it up to questions from the audience.
Okay, that's 3 seconds. We're done. All right, thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Oh, Julie!
It's not a question, but just
Hold on.
No, I can speak on that.
I was just going to say the testament to your teamwork, where you started out introducing each other, and as your presentation came on, and then Mandy's words, just the impact that you have had together on the community. It's just an honor to watch that kind of passion in action. So thanks for your presentation and work you've done. Thank you.
Going twice, and we're done. No, we're done. Okay. Thank you all very much.
I'm almost scared to ask them questions. So I'll make my question a comment. I've been to Justin Slade Foundation a few times, and I must also commend the program and the passion of the staff, and also the friendliness of the kids. It's so sweet to go there and watch. And again, I appreciate this. I don't know if it's case study, but again, you've made a statement, and they're the only free youth program in town. I heard that loud and clear, so I would also want to appreciate you, and hopefully we'll support you more in future. Thank you so much. And I heard many times, even the other group, I heard relationship. So that's so key, whether we are in the same organization or outside. Is this the only two group?
No, we have two more.
Oh, I was going to brag that we only have female graduates this year. I'm sorry. Ready to brag. Okay, we have 3 decent men representing.
More than 3.
Okay. Okay,
I ended the program from a different lens.
Okay, maybe 6%. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We're not trying to rush everybody off, so if you do have questions, you're happy to answer.
Thank you, Ange. I just want to make a comment too, just on behalf of Suncor especially. I think that the dedication that you step forward to do this volunteer activity, it's a big step away from work and from your home life, and it takes a lot of dedication, especially for those who have, you have work, but you have your kids at home too. So it's a lot of commitment. So thank you for what you all put in for the past 7 months, and obviously for what you're going to continue to do going forward. So thank you.
Thank you. We actually have one more little announcement that we would like to make today. Today is Ebenezer's birthday. Happy birthday. We have cake that we're going to have. So 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ebenezer. Happy birthday to you.
I bet you weren't expecting that.
I wasn't. You must be. If I knew this was coming, I probably would be outside by now. So thank you so very much. So quick one. I remember when I first got into this role, I got talking with Shona, who is my supervisor, seated over there. And one of the conversations was, oh, we have applications running and these are the timelines. Like, it's what we usually try to do. As soon as applications are out, all of the timelines are out there as well, just for people to know what they're committing to. And I saw April 25, and I looked at Shona and I'm like, it's my birthday. And Shona was like, really? I said, yeah, but I mean, what other best birthday gift is it to see, like, these wonderful people doing their presentations on that day? The only thing I didn't foresee is the surprise that I have to show up in front of the camera and do, the whole candle blowing thing.
Don't worry about the hat.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And there's nobody in the cohort
Thank you
sorry
so
for what
very
you
much.
said.
No, okay. You guys have been setting me up, but that's fine. Thank you all so very much. Thank you everyone. It's such a privilege, it's such an honor. I feel like it's one of my very best birthday celebrations so far. Thank you. It was a surprise, very sharp one, but profound. Yeah, so thank you so much, future leaders of Wood Buffalo. Thank you, Mandy, for coming here. It's 2:05, so we're going to take a little break. Welcome back, everyone. Very good energy around the room. Thank you all for the beautiful conversations, the connections, and the communications you've been having with each other. So we're going to dive right in to the presentations. And I'd like to invite the mentalists to come up and present.
Thank you so much for coming. Good afternoon. I just wanted to explain our name because some people asked. We are the mentalists. A mentalist is someone who demonstrates extraordinary mental power, such as mind reading. So you caught us, we can all read minds. We have a superpower. But but seriously, we wanted to, as a group, pinpoint a core need of the community and find ways to address it. So hence the name. So a little bit about myself. My name is, if you don't know me, my name is Susan Shamshad. and I work for the Government of Alberta as Senior Program and Policy Advisor. My second job is with Girls Inc. I'm a former interim executive director of Girls Inc. too. I moved to the region here almost 10 years ago, and my work experience spans from government to nonprofit. So I feel like I bring the best of both worlds, so creativity and boundless of nonprofit, but I also bring the structure and sticking to the rules that comes with the government. I'm involved in quite a bit of community projects, especially something very close to my heart is the cancer support group called Sisters in Cancer YMM. And I'm also a board member and advisory capacity for different organizations and cancer initiative with University of Calgary, University of Alberta, and AHS. I'm an avid volunteer for Northward Magazine. I'm leading the Groovy Magazine in Fort McMurray, and we just had a launch last week. And I'm also volunteering for different organizations such as Marcos Islam, just providing my expertise of intersectionality wherever I can. But being part of this group or this program, I just wanted to reflect on how invaluable this opportunity is to engage and to learn from diverse group of leaders, expanding my perspective and offering profound insight. Something that I'm very grateful for is the discussion that were fostered with our time together, especially where we felt safe, non-judgmental, and accepting of our unique perspectives.
Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin and I'm the event coordinator with the Fort McMurray Heritage Society. I moved to Fort McMurray in March of 2020 when my university switched to virtual learning in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Later that year, I began working at the Fort McMurray Heritage Village in the gift shop. And after I graduated with my BA in history, they hired me for a collections internship where I cataloged and managed the museum's artifacts. From there, I moved into my current job, which is in events. My job allows me to work very closely with individuals, nonprofits, and businesses in the community, so I really appreciated the opportunity with this program to strengthen my interpersonal and leadership skills. I think a lot of us in the program relate, but it's hard to quantify exactly what we gained from this program and what it means to us, but I know it's really shifted my perspective on what leadership is and has allowed me to kind of come to see myself as a leader.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Caitlin Houdini, the third Caitlin in our cohort. And I've had the privilege of working in the pension and benefits space for the last 6 years with Syncrude and now Suncor Energy. My family and I moved to Fort McMurray 18 years ago from London, Ontario. And despite a few leaves for educational opportunities, I've always felt myself being drawn back to the region. Not just for the industry that is here, but for the vibrant community culture that exists. I've always just felt this magnetic pull back to being a part of this community. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of some of the large multi-sport events here, and the community support for those events is just as energetic and enthusiastic as it is for the smaller events I've been a part of with organizations like Search and Rescue. So one of the key learnings that I gained from this program is the importance of psychological safety within a team. The ability to create an environment where individuals feel safe to express themselves without fear of judgment fosters a culture of trust and collaboration and just high performance that I feel is so valuable and I feel like we formed within our cohort. I'm very, very deeply grateful for all of the experiences and learnings that I gained from everyone here in the program, and I'm very excited to see what new opportunities are coming our way as we continue to harness the strength and power and passion of the leadership of Buffalo alumni. I'm Amanda Parsons, as you can read up there. But I work with the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo on the Community Plan on Homelessness portfolio. I'm not going to say my division and my department because it changes every day. Sorry, Janelle, she's right there. So I've been in the region for 13 years, I think.
I started off working with nonprofits, and then I moved up into government. When I first moved here, I started volunteering with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and I became a big. I was matched with a little for over 6 years, and we stayed together until she aged out. And now she has kids and growing her own life, so it's pretty cool. Since then, I have been married, and I am raising 2 little energetic boys who are the nemesis of my life someday. They are 2 and 5. So some key learnings that I got from the program is that I am, sorry, I lost my thought, that I am taking with me is the self-growth that I've gotten. The openness for everything, the openness for everyone around me, and the biggest thing was that leadership starts with my self-growth, and that was the biggest key that I got.
Hey, I am Ginger Oji from Ginger's Bannock House. I'm already clearing off that. Look at I'm up there. I never thought I'd be a part of this type of program. My ties to the region are 20 years long. A lot of people don't know I used to drive truck to the mine, and then I started dating somebody from the mine. And then I started cooking for people from the mine, and here they are. Self-connection. I love it here. I have 2 little boys and a husband. We just got married, and I opened Ginger's Bannock House here with the vision of rising as Indigenous people. I do everything that my parents and ancestors weren't able to do. Like, come up here and put our faces on there. I employ and empower others who need work experience or insight into my healing journey and my success. And my key learnings I got from this was through guidance and other like-minded leaders who support and help me feel like I belonged in these spaces. I really have a humble background, and I wasn't able to really input what I wanted to, like in the written form. But I showed up at every meeting. These ladies understood. I said, I need help, and they were there for me. So I realized as a leader, I don't have to have everything together. People like me with the vision can come together with other people with the vision. And I'm just really grateful to be here. Thank you.
So now that our group has had a chance to introduce themselves, I'm going to go over how our team came to partner with Q Social on the creation of a volunteer event that will happen this summer. So 8 months ago, when we were brain showering, we spent a lot of time talking about the prevalent gaps and barriers that exist within our community. It was an extremely eye-opening experience for all of us as we shared the different challenges that we had either faced personally or had been witness to within the community. As we were looking at each of these challenges, we started to kind of look at what could we realistically do within the 8-month confines of the program. And with this, we kind of had to reevaluate the direction that we were going. And we did a lot of pivoting, and it was an extremely long process for us. It wasn't until January where we actually started to figure out what we wanted to do. So with that, we actually started off thinking about mental health, and our focus was on mental health. As we were having those conversations, we noticed that there was this kind of underlying theme of volunteerism that kept coming up in each of our conversations. And so with that realization, we decided to pivot the direction that we were thinking of going and move in a different direction, which prompted us to start the conversation with Fuse. When we initially started our conversations with Fuse, though, we had grand ideas about helping them improve their volunteer page. And we were going to make it more user-friendly, and it's going to be amazing. And then there was 2-way system limitations. We just could not do that. It was not going to be something that we were going to be able to possibly do. So we pivoted again and talked about a volunteer fest idea. And this was something that really resonated not only with our community partner, but with each of the members of our group. So this is the poster for our volunteer fest. And we are very excited to be hosting this year's event at Heritage Village. Our event is going to have several different components to it. The main component is going to be booths set up with nonprofits at them for them to engage with members of the community, share about their organization,
and also provide them information on what their volunteers in their organizations do to help see if there's any opportunities for members of the community to join them. We're also going to be having a scavenger hunt, and the scavenger hunt we're hoping will be kind of that stepping off point to foster communication between members of the community and those nonprofits to start the conversation on what exactly does your nonprofit do, by forcing them to ask questions and get answers from the nonprofits. We will also be having a free barbecue, because everyone loves free food. Face painting and bouncy castles for the kids, as well as a stage with entertainment. And then finally, we will be having volunteer awards. So these awards are going to be recognizing members of the community in 5 different categories. So we're going to have unsung hero, groups consisting of 2 or more people, youth, senior, and newcomer. Our event revolves around community engagement and the gap that exists between individuals who are eager to engage and organizations who are looking for dedicated volunteers. Through this, we hope our Volunteer Fest event is that kind of bridge between those 2 items. Our aim is twofold. 1, to create a platform to allow nonprofits to engage with members of the community, and then 2, to recognize the contributions of those already giving their time. Through this festival, we aspire to create connections for members of the community to find fulfilling opportunities, as well as recognize the tireless commitments of those already dedicated to making a difference.
They made me the one to multitask. I don't know why. So I have mom brain, so I'm going to read from my African way. Caitlin has a brilliant mind, so she can remember it all. She's great. So as you see, the date is pointing to you, July 6th, if you didn't get that. In January, our team continued to pursue their passions for volunteerism, and we met with View Social to present the idea of the volunteer fair. After all parties agreed, we began planning the event with great excitement. Despite our project timeline expanding beyond the April deadline of the Leadership with Buffalo program, we worked hard to secure commitments from all our community partners. Once the Leadership with Buffalo program concludes, we aim to deliver an execution plan for the event, which my team will explain later. All team members have committed to supporting the program beyond the program's completion to ensure continuation and success. While View Social provides fundamental resources, we also source additional supports from our community partners. Our team is well equipped to cultivate these relationships, leveraging them to secure the resources necessary for the event's success. Our current status of the event is we have weekly calls with Brianna from View Social, who is graciously meets with us at lunchtime every Thursday, so we appreciate that. I don't see her. She's somewhere. Oh, there she is, waving way up there. So we work with her weekly. We're passing out sponsorship letters, speaking to nonprofits, organizing a sign-up sheet for the event, and finalizing donations. The search for the nonprofit, the search for volunteers is still up to help with setup and overall throughout the day. In the upcoming months, our team and View Social will work hard to finalize all aspects of the event to ensure its success. This includes tasks such as collecting donations, contacting vendors, obtaining permits, and providing assistance to nonprofits in whenever they require for the day. Looking ahead, View Social endeavors envisions the volunteer fair as a regular event in our community calendar. As our legacy, we aim to leave behind not just a one-time event, but a cultivated roadmap for future fairs, filled with insight gathered from our experiences, successes, and lessons learned. If you're interested in volunteer for this event, we are putting you to the test, and we are going to pass around the sign-up sheet so we can hold you accountable. We ask that you put your name and number on the sign-up sheet. and we will contact you about volunteering for an event. If you're a nonprofit, we also have posters going around, and in the poster, there is a QR code that you can take a picture of, and you can register for the event you would like to attend, to be there.
With an F. Passes the sign-up sheet. I will go up into detail about the outcome we aspire to achieve. So I'm thrilled to share that we have an ambitious vision to increase volunteer engagement by 80% over the next 5 years. Through this targeted outreach and comprehensive support and community building initiative, we aim to create a vibrant culture of volunteerism that enriches our community in profound ways. One of the crucial aspects of us doing so is to conduct surveys. I know they're dreaded surveys, but we'll make it fun, don't worry. This is like, we are quite creative, as you can see with our presentation. So we'll find a way to have some incentives and have it fun and have some emojis and stuff like that for people to be inclined to fill out our survey. These surveys will allow us to gauge whether we are offering meaningful volunteer opportunities where individuals feel fulfilled and deeply connected to their community. By soliciting feedback from our volunteers, we can ensure that their voices are heard and their experiences are valued. Furthermore, we recognize the invaluable contribution of nonprofit partners. This can be achieved by also another survey. Yay! Don't worry, we'll throw in a grant application in there. I work for a nonprofit, I know, but we'll engage them. But yeah, so we'll send a survey to the nonprofits as well to ensure that their input is recognized and considered, and their efforts are put towards improving our events and support the nonprofit effectively. In addition, we have other really nice initiatives like announcing and establishing a volunteer recognition award for our volunteers, which Caitlin had pointed out. This award is based on criteria such as commitment and impact, and it will be a formal ceremony to honor the recipients. We believe in celebrating the dedication and hard work of our volunteers, and something that we heard a lot is that they were not as recognized, or they felt that they were not as recognized in the community. We also want to have this as a sustainable, and we want to scale it up. And we are committed to developing a replicable event laid out in collaboration with Fuse Social by working closely with them to ensure that the volunteer engagement efforts are just not one-off thing. It's an annual thing, and it's expanded to reach even more individuals in need of support and opportunity for meaningful engagement. Some of the key learnings, and this picture is the only picture of us together. I don't know, we used to get together but always forget to take a picture. Courtesy of my husband, who took, I think, 1,000 pictures. And then I had to go through his roll to figure out which one we wanted to select, but here it is. Our group fostered a cohesive and supportive dynamic characterized by mutual respect and understanding. As other groups have pointed out, it wasn't easy. Flexibility and empathy were paramount, ensuring all team members were felt valued, supported amongst the availability. There were people who got sick. I broke my 2 fingers. Not fighting with our I fell. Okay? That's my story. I'm saying good. But effective communication was a key enabling us to stay informed and aligned, while trust underpinned our collaboration, allowing us to address project aspect collectively. Our partnership with Fuse Social was instrumental in accommodating collaboration, facilitating seamless integration of our ideas and Fuse Social vision. Throughout, our team demonstrated adaptability and transparency, navigating challenges and capitalizing on opportunity to enrich our project's impact. Balancing project's demand and program requirements pose challenges and require careful time management and prioritization. Despite the struggle, we dedicated ourselves as much time as we could, and our passion for this project remained the same. Throughout this, the leadership and teamwork, we foster a safe environment for an open dialogue, enriching our project will have diverse perspective, ensuring every voice was heard. Our inclusive collaboration has been transformative and enriching the depth and breadth of our project impact.
As Sandra said, we really pivoted. Like, we worked together. The biggest, I think, argument we had was our outfits today. That was a tough one. We're like, do you have this shirt? Do you have that? We wanted to be unified because we have been unified. We've been meeting every week, and these ladies have been phenomenal. With our strategies, our post-graduation plan is to continue doing that, continue meeting up every week, continue working with Brenna and other people and other perspective, either supports and really going on there. And like I said, we pivoted and they worked with me and everyone. I just feel like, I don't know if I could have given more, but I think I did. I'm giving, they all did so much. I admire my group so much. And as a leader, we did that. They showed up and we're working with other agencies and building really phenomenal relationships. And that's what our post plan is, to build relationships within the community, people that need volunteers and within the volunteers. So we're really excited about that. And we're aiming for this to be a success. And if it's not, we'll learn from it, right? And then we'll have all our information and data for the next year. So we're really excited. I hope to see you sign up. Thank you.
We're not done yet. Hold on.
Yeah, so to summarize our engagement thus far, nonprofits are really at the heart of this event, and our ultimate goal through the project was always to uplift nonprofits throughout this volunteer fair. So we are beginning to collect registrants for this event, and ideally we're hoping to have at least 10 nonprofit organizations sign up, but of course we're open to receiving as many as would like to come. This event, of course, as Caitlin mentioned a bit, will also require a great deal of resources to pull off. We've already secured a few major partnerships for this event. The Fort McMurray Heritage Society is donating the venue of the Heritage Village. Ginger Hispanic House is generously donating the expertise of her staff. And Dan Talk has donated his musical talent to entertain us throughout the event. We also need, of course, permits, food, prizes, and games. And although Pew Social does have a modest budget for this event, we are primarily relying on community donations and resources to secure these items. Currently, our sponsorship letter is ready to roll out, and we're just getting ready to begin to approach local businesses and request a support. So for our work with the community to put together this event, we really hope to foster a deeper level of engagement among nonprofits with volunteers and potential new volunteers. The idea of a volunteer fair was so appealing to us in particular because it really allows for a deeper sense of connection between volunteers and organizations than what you would typically see. The opportunity for nonprofits to have extended face-to-face conversations with potential volunteers and to get to know them on a more personal level often creates a deeper understanding and appreciation for both parties involved. It can also lead to more creative volunteer opportunities through conversations about shared skills and needs that go beyond the typical idea of volunteerism. So while this is absolutely an opportunity to engage new volunteers with the community, we hope first and foremost to create quality relationships between these parties and to reach a deeper level of volunteerism and community connection. Thank you everyone for listening, and we'd love to take your questions now.
I have So if you're not available on July 6th to support, could you use volunteers leading up to it other than like sponsorship or whatever? Would you need help setting it up?
Not 100% sure yet, but I'll keep your name in mind.
wanted to say that I appreciate so much the direction that your group has taken with this project in building the volunteer festival with that goal of connecting volunteers with organizations. One of the things we hear so much about volunteerism is that volunteers want to have relationships with the organizations. They want to feel like they're a part of the team, and I think this goes a long way to bridging that gap for them, being able to talk with the organizations that they're looking to volunteer with and be like face-to-face as opposed to a number or an email on the volunteer list. So kudos to you guys, because I think it'll be really well received by volunteers.
I was just like, I'll use the mic because I don't want to yell. So one of the things I always do is think about the youth, and in that, I'm just curious, how are you going to market, cater, advertise to get youth involved in this?
So we have our game plan is multiple goals. So first of all, we wanted to reach out to nonprofits and have them advertise it. We are also going to leverage Fuse Social's marketing team and their social media platforms to engage youth and also other volunteers. And also word of mouth, like, you know any kids who would like to volunteer? I think we can partner up with Justin Slade Foundation, why not? And have advertise it there, because we wanted to reach out to as many diverse groups as possible, and through that we have multiple goals of action plan that we wanted to achieve.
Awesome. Just the feedback, I know some of the ways that is helpful when I work with youth and try to get them involved is the schools. So really triggering like that connection to the schools. So if you can help,
great.
We can help you with that. But yeah, I think like definitely seeing how they hear you too, right? Like a lot of them are on TikTok. They use, they're not following you. So no, sorry guys.
Like if their friends are volunteering, they're volunteering, and then they're hanging out together. So mostly like word of mouth and.
Absolutely. And then just seeing if you can get accreditation, like for, getting that buy-in with them. So again, just seeing how you can do that. I love what you guys are doing. This is so fun.
And one of the initiatives is the fact that we have a volunteer award to recognize volunteer youth that are going out there, taking the time, and then volunteering to these organizations. So, and that is through, like, we are going to ask nonprofits to submit their submissions, and we're going to have an open call to have other people submit nominations, and we'll have a committee, and we have a plan. We have a plan.
To see your TikTok.
My name's Coralie, and I'm actually an alumni of Leadership Wood Buffalo in the first couple of years that it existed. And over the years, we've definitely seen a decline in the uptake of volunteerism. So I applaud you for taking on this presentation, and very well done. Lo and behold, I did actually hire Caitlin as a summer student as well. So, that's great job in your full presentation. One of the questions that I have, I work for the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo, and I service the rural communities. What are your thoughts about how we can transition something like this, or potentially something different, to encourage more volunteerism in our rural communities in the region?
That's a great idea. Well, right now our event is just for Fort McMurray, but seeing how we will learn from it, we don't plan to stop. Like I said, in April, today's the last day for Leadership Wood Buffalo, but we'll continue to work with Fuse Social and come up with ways to engage people from rural community. But thank you so much for bringing that point up, and we would definitely look into how we can engage rural communities and promote volunteerism in those communities, and how can Fuse Social, with the budget restrained, help us, because we had big dreams when we started, but then we were like, okay, we don't have the money, so let's just scale it down. But again, like I said, we have great ideas, and sky's the limit, and we will figure it out. And if we don't have the budget, we will raise the budget. So we are determined.
What I think too is forming relationships with other nations, like reaching out to them, can we come visit you and tell the nations that we're doing this here, what would you like, a workshop during the day, what works for your nation? Because I notice when I cater out and they see what works, and some things do work and some things don't, so really like making a relationship with surrounding small communities and see what works for them.
Great, great. Thank you very much. And I just want to tell you that my organization, Pets and Wellness Society, I'm the first one to sign up, I think. So.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That was amazing. Thank you so much to mentalists. Yeah, they are the mentalists indeed. I mean, they read the mind of the community and they've been able to support one of our needs. And they're working with Brenna, who is the amazing person in charge of community engagement for True Social. And Brenna has been doing lots of amazing work. Laurie, to your question around engaging youth, Brenna has been going into schools, doing the Give Back, Get Back program, and we've been getting lots of uptake, partnership with the school boards and all of that. So that's like a very good point. As soon as you mentioned, I'm like, oh my God, this is happening already. And this group is working with Brenna. What an amazing resource. So they're going to pull that up together. Up next, we have the team Giving is Living. So I'm going to leave you guys to give us what we need to live.
For those of you that know me, I probably can yell loud enough for this room, but I'll play nice with the mic. So we came up as the Giving is Living group, and I'm going to do something a little bit different than my team is expecting right now. Well, we have a little bit more time, and I know you're all just dying to sit in this hot room for another 50 minutes. So I just wanted to quickly circle back to these three groups. We all need to get together, because you're going to watch this and say, oh my God, I need that. So we need to get together tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, okay. So my name is Maria, and I am, like Lori Lee and Corinne, born and raised in Fort McMurray. I have been a member of the Syncrude, now Suncor family for over 20 years. I just want to share a brief story with you that highlights why I'm passionate about the project that we're about to present to you guys, and where my commitment to our community comes from. And is Cliff still here? Okay, so Cliff will get this. Cliff is like me in this story. So in 2013, as the chair of the Syncrude Employees United Way campaign, we went on a Seeing is Believing tour, and I believe, Ange, you spoke about this in your presentation. That is a tour that the United Way would organize for us to allow us to take campaign volunteers out to various organizations to see the community need. One of the stops was at the Center of Hope. And most of you, if not all of you, should remember when they were on the corner of Franklin and McLeod. Now I'm going to age myself here, so don't judge me. As a small child, I remember visiting that building. It was, in fact, where my family's doctor was. I remember the sterile, clean smell, the white walls, and the bright lights. Now here I was, 30 years later, standing in the middle of the main room. It smelled offensively like wet mold. The walls were not white, and the lights were not bright. The emotion was so overwhelming I had to walk out to hide my tears. And I asked myself, how is this the best that we could do as a community? But I'll come back to that point. So rewind about 13 years ago, and the Syncrude Employees United Way campaign was in full swing and in friendly competition with the Suncor Employees United Way campaign. We weren't competing to see who could raise more money. We were competing for the President's Award. Cliff knows this well. This was an award that the Fort McMurray United Way awarded to the company that raised over $1 million that had the highest employee participation. That was the prize all of the chairs wanted. It was bragging rights, but who really won? The community and the employees who were engaging. Those who learned about the organizations, with some becoming lifelong donors and volunteers. Both companies were averaging over 50% employee participation. Now here we are today. We looked at the Sun Cares program, which we are going to go into detail for you guys, which is now both the Suncor employees and the Legacy Syncrude employees all in one program. And we are at less than 25% participation. The opportunity was obvious. We needed to tap back into our employees, the existing program, and the spirit that we all know Fort McMurray residents have. If those of you weren't here in 2016, you might not know what I'm talking about. The food bank is empty, or at least low on supplies. The SPCA is overflowing, and the need for volunteers is at an all-time high. So I ask you all again, is this the best we can do as a community? I think the answer is no, and this project is one way we can help to close this gap. Now let's meet the rest of our team.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Maria. I don't know if it's on. I'll just speak loudly. So my name is Brian Fung. My pronouns are he, him. And I want to just tell a little bit of a story about myself and kind of why I'm involved in this program and what kind of got me here. So I am a first-generation settler to Turtle Island, now known as Canada. I was born and raised in Montreal. I moved to Fort McMurray about 10 years ago. And I am grateful and thankful for the welcoming embrace, I will say, that the Dene, Cree, and Métis people have provided for me in their homeland in Treaty Territory. In my day job, I work as the Manager of Government Relations for the Athabasca Chipewyan First Nation. But to the point of this project and kind of what I'm doing here, in my personal life, I sit on 2 boards in the community. And I was one of those people, a lot of people actually asked me, you should do leadership with Buffalo, you should go. And I wasn't sold on it. I really wasn't sold on it. I was kind of like, oh, just a little rubby shouldery, right? But my organization, or one of the organizations that I represent, was selected and worked with one of the CAP groups last year, and it changed everything. We have members in the audience that actually wore that CAP group. We thank you so much. And so when I knew there could be that meaningful impact on the ground for communities and social profit, I was in. So that's what I'm here for. That was kind of the meaningful impact I want to give back to the community. And I'll pass it off to you, Fika.
Thank you, Brian. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. And well, yeah, they're too quiet. But thank you very much for your presence here with us this afternoon. It is a pleasure to see so many people that I know in the audience supporting us. And I must say that even though we are the last group up, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. But for the past 9 years, I've had the awesome privilege of serving our municipality in various capacities, which culminated into my current role as community coordinator with the Community Services Department. Now, my journey to this point started over a decade ago when myself and my wonderful husband, Peter, decided to relocate from Oakville, Ontario to Fort McMurray. Shortly after arriving in Fort McMurray, we realized that my employment contract was canceled. And armed with the encouragement and the belief that our position changes our condition, we turned to our community, leveraging our time and our skills to serve in various not-for-profit organizations. And when the opportunity came to join this wonderful team, I said, this is right up my alley. They're multiplying, and you're going to see later on in our presentation that this group is about multiplication. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Kim Overeger. Hi everyone, my name is Kim Overeger. Yeah, first and foremost, I'm a mom to these 2 beautiful girls over here and my husband in the For my stories, I currently work at Suncor. We've been here for 15 years, came from Ontario. A shift for me personally was this is the home for my kids. This is what they know as home and where we live. So a little bit of self-reflection and humble for myself is I've always done a lot of work within women's networks and what Suncor, kind of watching them grow, and we've seen the shift over 10 years of changes in childcare, changes in things that affect us. I kind of challenged myself and said, what does that mean? What can I do to take action? So it was a huge component of me choosing to do this program, and then learning to understand what does this actually mean and what is that impact that we can make. So super excited for you guys to see what we have to present today. And here's the session.
I'll learn from everyone else. Hi everybody, my name is Natasha Daigle. I am a reliability engineer at Suncor. Originally I grew up in New Brunswick. I was born and raised, and I came out here as a student actually 10 years ago this month is when I started calling Fort McMurray home. You know, I joined Leadership with Buffalo because a lot of my friends and everybody were all a bunch of engineers, and I found we never really got super involved in the community, and I really wanted to put myself out there and meet like-minded individuals who care about the community but also have different backgrounds and different experiences to try to grow myself and learn what this community has to offer. Growing up as a kid, you know, I was one of those kids that used a lot of the community organizations. You know, I went to the Boys and Girls Club every day after school. I spent every summer at the Boys and Girls Club. And when I reflected back on the impact that that had in my life, I'm like, wow, I still remember playing Legos on the basement floor of the Boys and Girls Club. And I'm like, I probably had an impact on where I am today. So that is one of the main reasons I actually joined Leadership with Buffalo. And I'm going to hand it back over to Kim to start kicking off our project.
So you've heard kind of the comment a couple of times today is a community investment day. So we actually had the privilege back in September to go and visit various organizations within the community. Each of us, I would say, took something away from that. We each had a connection emotionally to different things. As we were kind of defining what does that CAP project look like for us, we actually realized, hold on, there's like a theme here. There's two things. It's every single organization needed funding and every organization needed volunteering. And so we kind of reflected, what does that mean for us? How can we, I would say very diverse backgrounds, very diverse understanding of what resources are available in the community. What does that mean? How can we leverage what we have? And so Natasha's going to go a little bit of detail, but we actually have an existing program called Sun Cares. And what it is actually all of the employees have a system in place. And so what we decided to do, instead of recreating something, how can we enhance what we have? And that's going to come through awareness. That's going to come through tools that are already in existence. And so Natasha will go through a little bit more detail after what that was. But what we wanted to do is kind of twofold as we understood a little bit more. One, how can we get awareness into the community, but also as an organization, and you heard Maria talk a little bit about it, there's also a need internal, and that internal need is people that live here. And so we have awareness internal and then external. So we're going to walk through a little bit example, but the basis of our project is actually closing the gap of the existing resources we have and enhancing the funding and then the volunteer capability that we currently exist in the region.
So you may have heard about Sun Cares. Sorry, I jumped the gun there on the clock. Okay, so what is Sun Cares? Because many of you may not have heard of it. So Sun Cares is a tool. It's supported by Suncor and the Suncor Energy Foundation, but it's an employee-driven tool that allows employees to get matching donations as well as banking their volunteer hours in order to give those hours back as a monetary donation back to the nonprofit organizations of their choosing, as long as those organizations are registered into the Benevity tool. So what is the opportunity in the RMWB? So in the RMWB, we have about 10,000 employees that are registered in the Benevity tool. So what does that mean? So every employee can get up to $2,000 a year matched of their donations to be able to redonate that to a nonprofit organization or a charitable organization, as well as they can actually get paid for their volunteer hours. So we get volunteer rewards. We'll get paid up to $20 an hour for up to $2,000 a year, which then can be redonated back to those organizations. So it's a huge amount of opportunity to help amplify the impact to the community. But one of the best things about Sun Cares is it's employee-driven, but the individuals have the choice to give back to the organizations that matter most to them. So it is
like it's pretty good. If you have, you know, like heartstrings to a certain organization, as long as that they're in that tool, you can actually give right back to those. So what is the impact? So if we look at the 2022-2023 numbers, between Suncor and Syncrude, we've donated almost $4 million a year is what we average back to the organization. That's in the community. So in addition to that monetary donation, we're averaging about 30,000 hours a year in volunteering, which translates back to about $500,000 in monetary donations back to those organizations that are registered in that tool. So like, it's huge impact. So now that Suncor Syncrude have migrated, Syncrude employees are now also getting this employee benefit where they can bank their volunteer hours and give back to those organizations that matter to them.
And so I'm going to speak here just for about a minute. I'll just use my voice if that's okay. So based off of what Natasha was talking about, right, and to just drive it home a little bit, one of the organizations, again, for which I sit on the board, we were in an operational deficit starting 2023, so last year. 2 employees maximizing what she had just showed there would have brought us into an operational surplus, right? 2. And so out of 10,574, whatever it was. So again, just to drive that home. We want to touch very quickly on kind of the access to funding. So as we know, if you were involved at all in the social profit sector here in Fort McMurray, and pretty much right across Canada, you'll know that the traditional sources of funding from government, from United Way, from the RMWB, it is uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty in the air. A lot of organizations are scared. There's a lot of talk about alignment, right, about non-duplication of services. And so we, again, kind of identified, well, where can we do, we can't just find money from where it doesn't exist. So where are those places we can leverage it? And that was, again, through this program in SunCares, because of these lovely ladies that brought it to our attention. And so that's kind of how we honed in on looking at this program specifically. And then I will pass it to Faithia to talk about what we actually did.
Yes, thank you, Brian. And from the initial stages of the project, we realized that this project has a lot of potential. And we recognize that the project doesn't just have a lot of potential, but it has a long-term impact. And our efforts culminated in a multifaceted approach to promote, first, the SunCare program, as well as laying the groundwork for future initiatives to enhance community investment programs in our region. And one of the community investment programs that we leveraged was municipalities. So here is a quick overview of the municipalities investment program. The program encompasses 7 core grants. 4 grants that are in collaboration with our municipal departments. And in addition to that, each year the municipality receives funding from the federal and provincial governments to support preventative programs within our region. And one last thing before I pass this to my teammate is just to let you know that this program is not just about the organizations. It is about the lives that the different organization touches. And it moves from one life to the other life, multiplying. So it is truly a great program, and I'm really honored to be part of this team in educating our community about it.
This one? Oh, this one? Hi. Okay, so the first thing that we did was, with Faithia's resources to the list of 107 organizations that had applied to the RMWB for one of those 7 grants she was just referring to, was we compared them to the list of registered organizations in SunCares. If your organization was going to take the time to put in an application for funding, are you also taking advantage of community investment programs that are right at your fingertips? So we did a quick check, and 25 of the 107, which is 23% for us math nerds in the room, is not good because they were not utilizing access to SunCares.
So the next step after that, identifying the 23% or 25 companies or organizations, we then drafted communication in email, and then we reached out to each of those organizations to provide support, how to get registered, making it accessible as easy as possible, and again, continuous kind of support if they needed it in working through that process.
So then we took it one step further, and we thought, well, geez, SunCares isn't just about the dollars. SunCares is also about all of our employees that are at Suncor, the 10,000, including, I believe, retirees that are registered in there, volunteering the time in the communities where we live for the organizations that we're passionate about. How do we ensure that these organizations that, again, take time to get registered with Wood Buffalo Volunteer are taking advantage of the ability to collaborate with these 10,000 folks at Suncor to create volunteer opportunities to get their name out in front of all of these groups? One of the things that I know, again, I'm going to go off topic here, but one of the things that I know that I'm doing this year for my team is we're planning a team building event down at the food bank. A time when we can all go down together, spend a few hours, get to know each other better, but at the same time volunteering to help out an organization here. So we're going to work with them to get that. I can see Anna smiling and nodding, getting it into the SunCares platform, because then we can do that match piece. So that was the next piece that we had taken advantage of.
So how do we measure our success for our project? Obviously, I like numbers. So as we talked about, there's 23% of the organizations from the grant list that are not currently registered into Fidelity. So because they're not registered, they're not able to get that additional funding that gets matched or gets donated back from our volunteer hours. So our goal is we wanted to get at least a minimum of 7 of those organizations registered into the tool. However, it does take time to get the registrations to go through, and we won't know the numbers until Q3 2024. So we have committed as a group that we will go back and follow up to make sure that we have reached out to those organizations and they heard us and they are registering. And then if not, we're going to hound them again with the emails on how to register.
Show up at their door if that happens.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
You got me.
With the basket of gin.
So, and then with that, so, you know, with the 3 of us working at Suncor, we are committed to joining our SunCares Giving Network to be leaders in that space, to help bridge the gap between the community and the SunCares platform, to help share the knowledge of what we learned from Leadership with Buffalo to the organization, to help reach the people, to get them volunteering, to get them using those matching donations.
Lastly, what we have stated again, what can we create that's actually sustaining and self-embedding? And so what we were proposing and put together is templates for the next cohort in 2025, and how can they leverage the information that we've done. And I think even, like, we've learned a lot listening to the other groups today, is how can we actually work together. I think it's about collaboration. But the key piece that we put up there is awareness. So if you are aware that there's tools out there, there's things that you can leverage, it's powerful, it can make a difference. And so part of our templates is keeping the awareness going of how to use this program and keep the conversation going within the people.
So just so you guys know, when you saw me on my phone when you guys were presenting, Justin Slade is in SunCares. And I checked, oh sorry, you guys are over here. I checked every single one, the Angels, the Fight Club. The Flight Club is also in SunCares. I was checking as you were presenting because I was thinking, ooh, here's an opportunity, but they're already all there. So this is an interesting one. So this actually happened probably in March, because it says right under a news name March. So this is a post off of, at Suncor we have kind of like an internal Facebook page. It's called Yammer. So Anu posted these pictures from the Fort McMurray Science Fair, and if any of your children were engaged in the science fair, it was a group of reliability engineers from the same group site, but part of the Suncor family that went, spent 6 hours each of their day judging the kids' science fair programs. So I called Anu and I said, hey Anu, did you put your time into SunCares? She said, what's SunCares? I said, oh my goodness, we need to have a conversation. So when I talked to her, I said, if all 12 of you do it, that equates to about $1,400 in that volunteer grant that Natasha was detailing, and they can choose. So this is just a little caveat piece. So let's pretend that Anu has one child that engages in Wood Buffalo Science Foundation, I think they're called. And maybe she has another child that's in gymnastics. She can choose to donate her money to anybody that's in that platform, regardless of where she volunteers. So it really allows people who have multiple closenesses to their heart to choose what their passion really is, which is really important for people to know, especially anyone from Suncor in the room, that we're not telling you anymore where your money's got to go. You pick, you choose, you donate, and that's what you support. So they actually did register, which I thought was fantastic, and that money for that.
So the next couple of slides here just kind of show a couple of companies, or a few companies in the region that we simply Googled. So all this information is public. This project we looked at here because of the strengths of some of the employees we have within Suncor. We looked at that. But for sustainability and trying to build some sort of a kind of a legacy project for the future cohorts, they might pick it up, and we want to kind of model this. Like, go to other organizations, go to other industry partners, go to other groups, and say, you have these things within your organizations. How are you leveraging them in order to move a little bit or help supplement or help fill that gap between traditional funding and volunteerism and what we can get from these partner organizations? So again, just a couple of slides to show you some of those organizations.
Thanks, Brian. Okay, so what's next? So we did talk about a couple of the members are going to join the SunCares Giving Network to help share the information, get more people engaged. Maria mentioned we only have about 22% of engagement right now in the tool, so there's lots of opportunity to help make a bigger impact on the community. But also using the information that we found and the gaps that we found in our community to share that with the next group of cohorts. You know, there's lots of room for opportunity of improvement in the volunteer Wood Buffalo. You know, how do we optimize our time to get the most out of it? And that's kind of what this project was, is finding the gaps so that we can be more efficient in fundraising for those community organizations that matter to us, and also sharing the information between the big organizations and the community. And like a fun fact, I like the food bank one. So, you know, you go to the food bank and they're outside the grocery store and they're looking for food donations. So if instead of going and buying that food and giving it to the food bank, if you put that money in SunCares, say you put $1, it'll get matched to $2, and then the food bank can use that, but they also get food at a cheaper cost than what we pay at the grocery store. So it's like getting the most out of your money, and that's kind of what the importance of this project was. Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to say thank you to our sponsors, so View Social, Ebenezer as well. He led our cohort. I'm sure we gave him lots of. There you are. Another happy birthday. Again. And I also want to reach out to Anna. She's in the crowd. She's Suncor as well, but she helped guide us. To help educate the employees on the impact that they can have. Thank you.
Well, great job, Maria, Kim, Natasha. They're part of my Suncor family here, and thanks Brian and Fatty as well. I guess quick question. So first of all, thanks for introducing the SunCares program to the broader community. I think it really is a huge lever for the community to pull and take advantage of the funding options that we have from Suncor and Syncrude. Just curious about what are those 23 organizations that are not registered? Can you give me a few examples? Do we have a few examples? Some big names?
If we do another question, I can pull up the email list and I can find it for you. But yeah.
Just putting them all on the spot.
Yeah, I'm the one who sent them. I can find it, but I just need a couple minutes.
The Conklin Association.
Yeah, so the Conklin Association, the Métis, CRDAC.
It's a recreational resource development advisory.
Thank you. Okay, I'll keep looking.
Okay, you find it, Brian.
Okay, I will.
So I'll help Brian occupy some time. So my question for you is, with this program, is there the opportunity already, or does it exist, for the corporations or organizations that can receive donations to share with the program and what their targets are for the year to help people determine where to allocate.
Anna?
I need to hear the question again, sorry. So my question is for the organizations that are part of SunCares to be recipients for donations, is there currently or will there be the opportunity for them to share what their annual target goal is for donations? As some organizations need a lot more, but as Brian said, 2 individuals could have changed a whole year for them.
Currently in SunCares, that is not, it's not functional. We can share opportunities, and agencies that are registered in Benevity is the owner of the SunCares the platform, they can enter their own volunteer opportunities. So, and then they let us know, we can feature them, and it's the first thing that pops up when an employee goes in. This organization needs money, here's a campaign they're running, and so, you know, they can actually help themselves by connecting with us, so we feature it. And we feature it in employees' hometowns. So if someone's from Calgary, we can feature things that pop up on anybody that works in Calgary on their first page. If we're in Fort McMurray, it pops up on my page or Marie's page. And so there is functionality there to share causes or important things that they're fundraising for, absolutely.
I would also share too, when we were looking at the scope of the work on what we could accomplish within an 8-month period, we had lots of ideas about actually creating like a monthly highlight an organization within, you know, within the Facebook, Yammers, to kind of say like, hey, you can, this year, similar to we were saying, you know, Black History Month or and 2S LGBTQIA plus month, right? Can we highlight an organization and have employees choose to funnel their money that month into that organization? But again, because of scoping, right, it made it a little bit challenging to do that. But
I was just going to add on to that. So part of like the CAP project actually, we also said we do QR codes. So when somebody's actually volunteering, they can actually do it on the phone. How do we make the awareness and the simplicity of what it is? So those are some of the ideas that we think there's a ton of momentum if we continue the project, and how do we improve that for years to come?
Future CAP project,
yeah,
right?
There was a question about
I think Brian did answer.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of organizations I can kind of tell you. So some of them were the, and forgive my pronunciation, but the Ikapasqua Indigenous Wellness Collection, they weren't there. The 9th Fort McMurray Scouts weren't there. There was an Alberta Community Togetherness Society, a Drama Festival Association. I'm kind of going down the list. There was the Camp Yogi Society. So again, really like right across the board on organizations that could potentially tap into money.
And also the Fort Chippewa Museum. They were. So it's any nonprofit organization that can actually register. So you don't have to be a charitable organization in order to register in the tool. Any nonprofits have the ability to go and register. And it's only like a 4-step process. Like it's pretty simple, but getting that information on how to register and getting that information that this platform exists to those organizations is one of our main goals of our project.
I have an email template if anyone wants it.
Thanks. I didn't have a question, but I did want to comment because I had worked with Suncor employees in the past on different boards, and so I knew some, you know, a little bit about SunCares, but after becoming the executive director at the Fort McMurray Heritage Society, I got to know the program a bit more the first year, but then last year, I've said it and I posted it on our social media that we would not have been prepared for winter last year if it was not for SunCares. Being able to match the skill sets to some of the things that we had to get done at both locations, at the shipyard and the village. I don't think people really realize, like when we have repairs, we have historical items and artifacts and everything that, you know, it increases the costs of all of that. But having people come to the village that have, you know, the ability to help us with like our mudding and our, you know, painting and different things that we, you know, have to pay for otherwise out of pocket made a huge difference, and our buildings were all in better shape this spring for that, and we will always be grateful and we'll always use SunCares for everything in the future. And every time they came to the village, it was a really positive atmosphere and experience. And now some of those SunCares participants are now legacy volunteers, and they come and they help us out whenever we need it. So thank you.
sorry, Megan, I know you probably want to wrap it up, but I do want to say one last thing. Again,
We told everyone we would fill the rest of the time.
Personal anecdote, right? So again, I work for the Athabasca Chippewa First Nation. It is a First Nation located in Fort Chippewa area. And so there's no surprise that oftentimes there's a little bit of a binary between industry and Indigenous communities, and there's a little bit of friction there. And I have to admit that I entered into this process with those preconceived notions of what industry meant. We didn't touch on this really because of timing, but what that meant, and what this allowed me to see was really the face behind it, right? There is industry in terms of the corporate headquarters, right, and their bottom dollar. But there are real live people, there are community members who live here, who breathe it every day. And so I'm thankful to this group for kind of schooling me on that and opening my perspective and eyes on that as well.
So not a question here, but I need to commend you guys on two particular things. This particular presentation checks a lot of boxes for me. I'm a Suncor employee. I'm a leadership of Buffalo alumni from last year, but I'm also the Sun Cares Giving Network representative for Fort Hills. So this is awesome for us to get more representation, more organizations on there. It just creates a broader breadth for people to be donating their time and their money to. And Maria, great point. My team does the exact same thing. We did a Christmas thing, a drop-in center. We sponsor a family, and all of those volunteer hours get tracked. So this last weekend, I put some volunteer time in for Sundas and her group, to Girls Inc. for the bingo. By the way, go to the Legion, do some bingo. It's actually awesome, and they always have fundraisers and stuff there. So I was putting my time in, and as I was putting my time in, I thought, I'm going to message Ebenezer here this morning and say, hey, I'm putting time in for Fuse as well, because I did the fireside chat with you guys and things like that. Yep. And so now there's another 5.5 hours or something to go there. So that was just actually this morning. So excellent work on that. The second thing I want to commend, particularly Brian and Maria, but I'm going to single them out, because I remember when we did the fireside chat back in October, I believe it was, I was part of a very spirited conversation between the two of you on precisely that. And Brian, you just spoke to that was great. So you were able to take those preconceived notions, you're able to break down those walls and those biases, and build something really great together. And that's precisely what this program is about, bringing industry and community together, and that's why Suncor is such a big part of it. So excellent work, you guys. Really appreciate it. Keep it up.
I don't hug people.
Thank you so much. This has been an amazing and fantastic use of my time. I thought I was coming here to do a speech for being a woman and go home peacefully, but it's been a lot to take in. I think it's like, for me, it's like I've attended a little leadership conference today, and I hope we get to see more. I can ask Eden for more of the information. It's something to process. I'm also particularly grateful for this opportunity, and like I think Mayor Bowman would always say, this is one of what makes this region a great place to live. The fact that, the opportunities, and for me, I call it the YMN opportunity. It's amazing what can be achieved here. The resources we have versus the number of people, it's a great place. I'm not campaigning, I hope I'm not. This is a fantastic thing, and I've seen firsthand what Suncare does. Last year, I had the privilege to help donate some the laptops to seniors, and to also help them, to start using laptops. This is so impactful for instance, a grandmother coming from Asia or Africa. So the multiplication effect, and then, I'm not very good at maths, but if you match $1 for $1 for me, I'll love it. So I think it's a great one, and I'm glad. I'm sure Anna is also happy sitting down there. I'm one of the two councillors on CIP Grant Committee. It's not the easiest committee to be on. Organizations needing 600,000, and We know we can only give 150,000, and we know they are doing amazing things, but we just don't have the fund. This is an amazing packed information for us, and I appreciate your choice of project. And maybe, even though you don't have the t-shirts, I think you came to deliver. So thank you so much. Thank you.
This wardrobe was purposeful because there wasn't asked to wear the hoodies, but you probably have like the hottest temperature rising room up here, that we said there was no way we were doing hoodies knowing how hot this room is. So hence why we're not in matching clothes.
Okay.
Well, we brought them. They're on our chairs.
They're on our chairs.
Oh, really? All right. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're good? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Nice. Awesome. You have thank you so much. That was really amazing. I can see that there's a lot of inspiration going on in the room. Thank you all for showing up for us today. I'd like to thank our program sponsors, Suncor, the Regional Municipality of Wood Buffalo, the Government of Alberta. We are only able to continue doing what we do right now because of the support that we always get from you all. Thank you so much. I'd like to extend a thank you to Councillor Funke and Councillor Goga for actively representing the Mayor and Council. Thank you. I know you came in today and you were like, I'm just going to do this and leave because there are other competing priorities, but you got glued to your seat and I'm excited. Thank you so very much. Are we all feeling inspired today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So on that note, I'm going to do a little bit of marketing here right now. So applications for the 2024-2025 cohort of the Leadership Wood Buffalo went live on the 2nd of April, and it's going to continue till June 14th. Anybody can actually go through the program. There is no discrimination whatsoever. As long as you feel like it's speaking to you, you have something to give to the community, you are interested in building the community, you want to thrive in Wood Buffalo, then the program is for you. We also will be having an information session on the 30th of April, from about 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. or like a virtual lunch and learn session. So you can be at your office, you can be at your lunch spot, just join us on Zoom, and we get to answer some of the questions that people have had about the program over time. It's also an opportunity to get to interact with some of our program alumni who have actively supported the program, like they are key champions of the program. They've carried it and they keep running with it. It's an opportunity to speak with them. This wonderful group, by that time also, would have become alumni of the program, and I'm hoping that some of you are going to be able to join us to speak to the group. I saw a lot of alumni, and I still see many of you in the room. Alumni in the room! Woo! Thank you so much. It's so good to see you all. From those of you that currently sit on our advisory, I see you. Thank you so much, Jake. Thank you, Jen, for showing up. Thank you to each and every one of the alumni. Like, I was seeing lots of you today identifying as alumni. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know. I would have really leveraged that, because I noticed that each time I send one email to just one person in the group, and it just like goes out to everybody, and I see people reaching out and want to like jump on to support everything that we're doing. Thank you so much. I don't take it for granted. As a matter of fact, on the 19th of June this year, from 5:30 to 7 p.m., we're going to be having our alumni mixer. So the date is already that, and it's set. I want you all to block it in your calendar because I know how busy you can all become. I'll be communicating and rolling out some further information about like the venue and the event and how it's going to be. And we have like a new program that we're going to be unraveling at that time, so you don't want to miss it. So I look forward to seeing you all there. Okay, I'm going to take off my leadership development hat and wear my special project hat. Right now, you all must have heard about the Hearts of Wood Buffalo Excellence Awards, which we're going to be celebrating on the May 30th at the Shell Place to really recognize like great people in the community that have really like championed this community and continuously move us towards the kind of sustainable community that we seek. On the 30th of May, we're going to be celebrating the winners and the top finalists for the 8 award categories for this year. Tickets are currently on sales. I told you I was going to be doing some marketing. So you all can, there are lots of posters behind on the table over there. Some of you must have picked it up when you came in. It has some barcodes that you can also scan that will take you to all of the to the site, and you're able to purchase your tickets. Yeah. I'd like to say big congratulations to the 2023-2024 Leadership Wood Buffalo Cohort. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. You know, I've had the privilege to interact with you all, either as a group or even on like a more personal note. And I know that I always say it to you guys, no BS. I know you all have gone through the program as participants, but I also went through the program. At least that's how I feel, and I hope you see it that way. Maybe from a different lens, but I liked how you all supported me, like the privilege you accorded me to be able to, you know, guide you. I feel like that's too much for me to feel like I'm guiding you guys. But thank you so much for all of the support that you provided, like all through the program. Thank you so very much. I'd like to also say a very big thank you to each and every one of you here today. Thank you for showing up for us. Thank you for showing up for the cohort and even staying through till the very end. We are grateful. Thank you. I'd like to send a special thanks to Fuse Social, the organization I work with, who also runs this program. You know, Fuse Social runs the Leadership Wood Buffalo program, but they also lead by example. Almost every staff member of Fuse Social has gone through the program. And many more are still going to go through it. I have gone through it, well, from a different lens right now. Yeah, it's really exciting to see how much work they put into like supporting the program, supporting me as a person. I mean, it's less than a year ago since I got into this role, and the kind of support I've gotten that has kept me till this time is amazing. And I just want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to you all. To Fuse Social Board of Directors, I saw Cliff here earlier, and surprisingly, the man behind the camera is our board chair, just in case you don't know. And thank you so much, Thomas, for showing up and for doing this. You've done it in the past and you're still doing it. Thank you so very much. A special thank you to the Leadership Wood Buffalo Advisory. Thank you all for showing up. I know you all have busy schedules. Like sometimes I just like pop into your calendar and I'm like, oh, it's emergency and we need to meet, and you guys just make it happen. Thank you so much. I don't take any of that for granted. On that note, we have come to the end of the program. Thank you all for staying and being with us. If you have any question whatsoever about the program, I'm just going to hang around a bit. You can come up to me and have a conversation, and I'll be happy to chat. Thank you.